Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, Conversations and Cocktails with Brilliant Women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Laura Fogarty is educating women to be alert and aware of our surroundings. And she's providing products that promote our safety. She's on a mission to save women and children, those in desperate situations, those without many, if any, options. She's passionate and dedicated to changing even one life. So passionate, in fact, that we jumped right into what she's doing this week to further her mission when we started chatting. And I forgot to ask her about her favorite wine. It's Riesling and Pinot Grigio, by the way. We'll cover more fun memories in our next chat. For this episode, pay attention to her tips for staying present and safe in your day-to-day, and learn ways you can support her mission to pay it forward and make an impact for women and girls around the world. I edited our chat to ask Laura to give us her background. What did she do back in the day? Here's what she told me.
Very different.
Back in the day, yeah.
So I worked at the Armed Forces Retirement Home, which used to be called the United States Soldiers and Airmen's Home back in the day, which is a retirement home for military veterans. And when I joined in 1992, it was the United States Soldiers and Airmen's Home. And it was only open to Air Force and Army veterans. There was another home called the Naval Home in Gulfport, Mississippi, that was for Marines and Navy.
Okay.
And a few years after I started there, they joined all the service. They basically made one umbrella called the Armed Forces Retirement Home, and allowed all services to go to either home. Ours was in Washington, D.C., and the other one was in Gulfport, Mississippi. I was the recreation director for 23 years there.
Oh, fun.
And then I was the safety and occupational health officer for 2 years. So I had a total federal service of 25 years. And
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Big.
And, I loved it. They became a CCRC, which is a continuing care retirement community versus just a retirement home. And the difference is a CCRC basically allows all levels of care. So in other words, you could come in independent living, and we had Independent Living Plus, which was a level of care in between independent living and assisted living. Mm-hmm. And then we had assisted living, we had long-term care, and then memory support. Mm-hmm. So although you would move your rooms, you would still be on the same campus, if you will.
Nice.
So it's not like if your mom or dad needed to be moved to a retirement home, they would be there. And then at some point in their life, they would have to be moved to a nursing home. Mm-hmm. That is very traumatic, especially as people are getting older.
Yeah.
So the CCRC, Continuing Care Retirement Community term, is really, it has evolved over the last 10 years or so. So I've been retired 5 years. So I would say the last 10 years was when the CCRC term was coming out to make it more
kind of transitional
and less difficult for the aging. The aging people. Yeah.
And you mentioned there were 2 facilities, but surely there are more than 2 across the country.
No. So there are only 2. When I joined, we were under Health and Human Services.
Okay.
Under the umbrella of the Health and Human Services.
Mm-hmm.
DOD, basically, we still probably do, they have a trust fund. So the trust fund gave us money. We also had a non-appropriated fund, and then the fees by the residents that live there. It's a lot less expensive to live there than in a private,
Mm-hmm.
facility.
Sure.
It is
I would
not
hope so for our veterans.
right.
You know?
It is, yes, and it is a scale that it's a fee based on your income.
Okay.
Uh, so it's not part of the VA. People think it is.
Okay.
There are VA facilities across
Okay.
all different states and cities and stuff. But no, there are only 2 facilities that are under the Armed Forces Retirement Home umbrella.
Wow.
I mean, their goal, I have been out of the loop for 5 years since I retired. But their goal when I was there was to open another one, especially around like Texas or Arizona, because there are a lot of veterans.
A lot of retirees, yeah.
Yes, a lot of retirees out in those areas. So yes.
Very good. Okay, so fast forward a little bit then.
Yes.
You retired and moved to Florida, and now we're neighbors, sort of. So first of all, tell us what you're doing now and the company that you're working for, and how did you find them?
So I had retired January 2018, and my husband had retired December 2017. So owned a home and raised our children in Alexandria, Virginia. And we also had a condo in Fort Lauderdale. So we were snowbirds. So we took a year to basically just enjoy retirement, got healthy, exercised a lot. And then a year later in 2019, I said, okay, I'm 61 years old now. What do I do? What's the next chapter? And a friend of mine was a safety educator with Damsel in Defense. And she was a part-time nurse. And she had actually contacted me the year before while I was working. And although I was very intrigued with the mission, timing just wasn't right. And I always say that to people who I speak to, it has to work for you. Yes, I want to try to build a team because I work right now from like Bradenton down to Punta Gorda, Florida. And, I can't do it myself. And getting more people who are safety oriented. And also I will talk about our mission in a minute, but we decided after a year, my husband and I decided the timing was right. It was October and September, just before the COVID hit. Both houses, the condo and the house, sold like hotcakes. So we decided to sell both properties. I had a friend, my roommate from college, who I still keep in touch with. She lived in Sarasota and she was from Ohio. And she had retired and came down here, and we had visited her a few times. And I walked into her house and I said, oh my gosh, I love this house. It was a new home. And I said, someday I would love to live in a home like this. Little did I know that not long later, I would, a few years later. But so we just decided that we wanted to live on the Gulf. Fort Lauderdale was very, very busy, although we had a beautiful condo, but it was very small, a couple of blocks from the beach. My prerequisite for moving had to be, I was spoiled over there because I was literally 3 blocks walking to the beach, to the ocean. And we were on the intercoastal, but I had to be within 15, 20 minutes from sand, from a beach. But it's funny because we don't even make time to go. It's funny when you're looking for something, you're like, okay, these are the prerequisites.
Yeah,
but
this is important.
This is important, but we don't even really go that often because we're so busy. So a friend of mine basically said, why don't you give it a try? And I was like, okay. So drew me to Damsel in Defense is the mission. And basically, our mission simply is to equip, empower, and educate people, primarily women and their families, on how to stay safe from being a victim of crime. And how we do that is basically through personal workshops. And I go into the community. I'll come to your home. I'll come to your business, whether you have a brick and mortar and you have people that are coming into your building or through that front door, or you are going to a person's home, whether you're an interior decorator or you're coming to a person's home to give them an estimate on anything, you should always have protection. So that's really, really important. So I do safety workshops. We have different topics. There's one that talks about it's city safety, and it talks about parking garages, gas stations, elevators, alleyways, things like that. And then we have one called Sister Safety, which is for high school girls and college girls. And it talks about healthy relationships versus unhealthy relationships. And then we have one right now through Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So there's different topics that we have each month. I just talked to somebody that works in a high school, and I'm really excited because she's getting permission for me to come talk to students.
Oh, nice. What age are they? They're high schoolers?
They're high school. So
nice.
I got to talk to her and see what I have to be very careful, with what
sure.
I talk about. I just have to find what this just happened like a half hour ago. I just have to find out what the parameters are. I do have a presentation that's for high school, college kids, healthy relationships versus unhealthy relationships. But I'm not a psychological, I have a presentation that Damsel put together, but I don't want to come off as like a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about that because I have several friends who target this group and they love doing it, and it really makes a difference. And
nice.
That's what it's all about, spreading that awareness and it's tough topics. I'm sure that they'll have to get permission. I hope the parents attend too.
That'd be ideal.
That would be ideal because they're the ones that are actually going to buy the products, for the girls. It's sure I want to get products in their hands. But the education is huge and the empowerment's huge.
Right.
Basically, what can I feel comfortable with carrying?
Right. And how can I be alert and protect myself and be aware? Yeah.
All that. The whole premise is situational awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have to. All of us, no matter where we're coming from, no matter what time of day, you can't be paranoid, but you definitely have to be prepared. You have to be alert.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
And don't you feel that that's sort of applicable to anything? Like we need to be present for each other, like to hear conversations, to connect with each other, and just in general, being aware and alert and present and listening.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, one of the examples I use, is when you go into a restaurant, how many of you sit facing the door? Yep. You don't realize it. If you are facing the door, you could be reactive. If there's something that, if you see something that doesn't feel right, you have to react. You have to do something. Your brain is going to tell you, especially if you're facing the door. And I use an example. This is reality. I did a presentation a couple of months ago, and this woman stood up and shared a story. And she said she was in a restaurant and she sat facing the door. And all of a sudden there was commotion. There was this this argument that was happening between the owner and this young man. And nobody knows. She didn't know what was going on. It was just escalating. And before she knew it, he pulled a gun out and he started shooting.
Oh, no.
So she, being that she was facing the door, she was paying attention. We call it OODA. There's a term that we have. There was a colonel, an Air Force colonel that created this. It's a mindset, basically. It's called OODA loop. And it says, whoever cycles through the OODA loop first wins. And he trained fighter pilots with this concept. So when you think about, you look at something, right? You're observing, you're orienting, you're deciding, and you're acting. It's the cycle that your brain goes through to process and react. So if somebody attacked you, first of all, a lot of people who are attacking you are looking for easy targets. They're looking for someone that's distracted. Their OODA loop is very simple, it's to attack. They don't have a plan B and C. They have a plan A, and that plan A is to attack you. So if you stay calm and you have protection, whatever it may be, a stun gun, pepper spray, striking tool, a non-lethal. I mean, obviously, if you're pulling out your gun, it's your life or their life, okay? But most situations, you can have something that is less lethal than a firearm. But if somebody comes up to you and your brain goes through that observe, orient, decide, and act faster than theirs, you're going to win. Because it happens like that. I say it slowly, observe, orient, decide, and act, but your OODA loop is kicking in because you are prepared.
It's sort of like a practice, it's right?
Muscle memory. This woman, the one that was in the restaurant, because she was facing the door and happened to observe this situation, she, before other people were, her OODA loop went fast because she was able to see it right from the get-go. She observed, orient. She and her husband got on the floor, crawled through the kitchen, and got out the kitchen door.
Wow.
Before within split seconds, before people were like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's so important, no matter where you are, to really just be
ready.
Be ready. You don't have to be. I tell people, I say, don't be. You're not being paranoid. Having good situational awareness is basically carrying on your activities, doing the things that you like to do, take a walk, work out, whatever. But just when you just put your head on a swivel, just look around, pay attention of what's normal, what's out of sync, what's not normal.
Well, and just to back up a second, that I want to believe the best of everyone. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, give grace, but that doesn't negate being aware, right? I mean, because you're not thinking, or you're not teaching to be skeptical of others. You're just being aware of the situation, right? I mean, it's not the person, it's the situation.
So you're not walking around and saying, is that guy going to hurt me? Is that woman going to hurt me?
Right.
Yeah,
I can't imagine living like that.
No. And this is just the opposite. This is basically encouraging people to live life the way that you want to live, whether you want to walk through a trail, or whether you're coming out of Publix, or whether you're coming out of the mall, or you're getting gas. These things that you do every day take that 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When you come out of Publix, put your money away, have your purse, near
Right.
you or crossbody,
Mm-hmm.
and have something either in your hand or close to where where it is. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have a breakaway, which is like this big, and it's a leather piece that you hook it to your purse.
Hello, friend. Let's be real. When's the last time you did something just for you? Enter Wine Camp 2026. We're talking wine tastings, fire pit chats, sunset dinner cruises, and zero cooking required. Just show up, sip something fabulous, and reconnect with the version of you who loves adventure, sisterhood, and a glass of local Riesling in hand. Sweet, dry, or both. No judgment here. We're heading to New York's gorgeous Finger Lakes, July 31st through August 2nd. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Secure your spot at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp. Don't wait, room options are limited, and my crystal ball says we're going to sell out. Bring your besties or fly solo like the fabulous free spirit you are. You'll leave with new favorites either way. Wine Camp 2026 is calling. The only question is, are you in? Find out more at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp.
And then you have either a striking tool or a pepper spray or stun or something, and it either hangs outside your purse or inside your purse. But if you need it, if your situational awareness is telling you and your intuition is telling you something's not right, not comfortable, then it breaks. So it's called a breakaway because it breaks away and your product is right in your hand.
Okay. And you were describing it, it's 4 or 5 inches long, like a leather.
Yeah. It's maybe like that little, but it's 4
just
or 5
for our
inches.
listeners who wouldn't be able to see what we're doing.
Oh yeah. It's about 4 or 5 inches long, and it's called a breakaway, and it's got a clip that you fasten to your purse, and then you put your products on the other end. It's like a keychain. But the cool thing is that if you need it, you just pull on it and it breaks away, and you have it right in your hand.
And when you say product, it's your pepper spray or your striking tool.
Pepper spray or the stun gun or a striking tool. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that way it's right in your hand. It's not in your purse somewhere.
Right.
You're not going
You're not digging to the bottom of your bag.
You're not going to say just a minute. I have to get my pepper spray out.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice way to carry products. And then we also have an arm candy keychain which is what I carry. And you can just put it on your wrist, and you can carry your pepper spray or your stun gun or a striking tool, in addition to your keys and anything else. So
arm candy, meaning it's blingy, right? Is that the blingy strap?
It can be. There's some that are blingy and some that are not.
Okay. Arm candy, that's just a kind of a bracelet style.
It's a round bracelet, right? And it also has the pin that activates a stun gun, which is really, you don't have to buy a stun gun when you buy the round arm candy, but you can. And it's a nice way to carry it also. All of our stun devices and one style of pepper spray have a safety wristlet. And that safety wristlet is a pin that with the stun guns, you plug it into the stun, and that's what activates your stun gun. It's a great safety feature because if somebody came close to you and they grabbed it, they cannot use your stun on you as long as you have the safety pin on your wrist.
Oh, wow.
Which is a nice feature.
That is a great feature. Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
The stun guns are really great for twofold. because they have a flashlight, number one, you can always shine a flashlight in a person's eyes. Okay. That right off from the get-go is going to deter them. They're going to take a step back. They're going to be like, they won't be able to see. Now, think of a scenario where a person could be grabbing you, and if all you have is a flashlight, use that flashlight. They may let go of you. Okay. Your most important goal is to get home at night to your loved ones. That is your goal. I always read this when I do a workshop because I really think that it's an important little bit of tidbit information. So I'm going to read it because it makes sense to me. If it's basically, if your life or well-being is being threatened, fight back. A study was released a few years ago that showed that women being attacked who used nonviolent methods of resistance, begged and pleaded, were raped 96% of the time.
Oh, wow.
Women who yelled and screamed were raped 50% of the time. And women who ran or used physical resistance were raped 15% of the time. And women who used a weapon were raped only 1% of the time.
Wow.
So having some type of personal protection statistically shows that you will be able to release yourself, escape, and get home.
Survive.
To your loved ones. I mean, that is the most important thing that you have to keep. Fight. Never think that if you're complacent and because there are people think if I just do what they tell me, I'll be okay. No, not at all. Never. Because ultimately they're going to take, if they take you to another location, that is where the damage is going to be done.
Yeah.
All right.
Heard that on Oprah, probably late 80s, early 90s. Never get into a car with someone. Do whatever you can to not go with them.
Never. Because ultimately the crime, the rape, the death, whatever, the mutilation, whatever they want to do is going to happen where they're taking you. Okay. And we also, a couple of years ago, we have an app that you can download on your phone called Shield Community. And it is a GPS tracking system that you download on your phone. And we have a pepper spray or an alarm. These two products can marry up with this GPS tracker. You can put up to 5 emergency contacts into this program. And if you press that button on the pepper spray, it will, you put the names in there and you put a message, this is mom, help, whatever you want to put. As soon as you press that button, it activates and it sends a message to your emergency contacts. And then the contacts notify the police. We can't put 911 as a number. But you can put up to 5 phone numbers in there and it will start tracking you. The very cool thing is with the alarm, not only does it have a very loud alarm, but it has a silent alarm. So God forbid you were abducted.
Okay.
If you were thrown into, you would need your phone, but God forbid you were thrown into a vehicle. You could silently press that alarm. And that GPS tracker is already started, which is amazing. Big. I mean, you don't want, if you were abducted, you do not want to sound an alarm if nobody's around. Right. So that private alarm the silent alarm is amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah. And the global mission that we have is we financially support safe houses. It's called the Damsel House Project. And we have 2 safe houses out of the United States that we financially support. So we are not nonprofit. We obviously are for profit so that we can financially support these homes. And we work with a company called Destiny Rescue. Destiny Rescue is a nationwide organization that is actually the ones that go into the brothels and the borders. And they're the ones that actually rescue the girls and they bring them to the homes. And we financially support this. So that covers everything you can imagine, food, shelter, clothing, counseling, professional help, mentoring, teaching them a trade so that they don't have to go out and sell their bodies. Some of these cultures are more lenient, but some also, this is all they know. That's their job to contribute to the home by going out and exploiting themselves. And the founder of the company, Mindy Lynn, she was sexually assaulted as a child and, of course, grew up with all of that guilt and all the things that happen along the way. So she is very much wanting to not only educate and provide resources for women that have been in domestic violence situations, helping human trafficking. We have a program called Safe Hearts, sharing awareness through family empowerment. And these storybooks and game is an opportunity for parents to have these tough conversations. We call them kidversations with their children regarding different topics. And it's for children from about a toddler. The first storybook takes place with a 5-year-old who wants a puppy, and her parents won't let her have a puppy. And she has a neighbor that is a pedophile, and he grooms the family to trust him. And he says to the little girl, I know you want a puppy, and this can be our secret, and you can have a puppy at my house, and you can imagine what happened. There's stories about the grooming, and there's a story about a coach, and there's a story about pornography. They're age appropriate. You don't have to buy all the books. If you have a 5-year-old girl, you buy that story. If you have a 12 or a 13-year-old, you could talk about, pornography that may come through the computer, or firearm safety, or they're great. And there's a parent guide that is an easy read. I say an easy read in terms of pages.
Oh,
but
yeah. The emotions,
content,
right? Yeah.
The content, you have to, I have people who read it once through and they're like, okay, I'm ready to have this conversation with my child. Then I have other ones that they could read it 5 times, 10 times, however long it takes, but it's giving the parent the resources and the verbiage on what to say. And why are we having this conversation? Basically, the Safe Hearts program is an opportunity for you to talk to children about protecting their hearts and bodies against tricky people and tricky situations. Not stranger danger. But it's a tricky person or a tricky situation because you love them.
It's not the boogeyman that is the problem.
The problem is somebody that a brother, an uncle, a stepfather, a father, a mother, a friend, a neighbor, a brother of a friend. It is a coach, a teacher, a minister. It is a tricky situation or a tricky person because you know that person.
Wow.
You love that person. You trust that person. I raised my kids stranger danger. Now,
right.
you still have to be aware of that stranger that makes you feel uncomfortable. And you never want to go into a car. You never want to take candy, or you never want to, go with anybody. But these children are being sexually assaulted young. I mean, I was told 2 years old, and people have told me even younger.
Oh my goodness.
So it is a huge, great program called Safe Hearts, and they can learn some more information on my website or going on safehearts.com. There's a little video that talks about it. Getting back to the founder, Mindy, She also was exposed to sex trafficking for the first time in 2013 when she saw a child her own daughter's age being sold by the little girl's father. And she, at that moment, Mindy committed to always using Damsel as a platform to fight for children that are being exploited by their own families. And these, giving these children a voice. It's a huge problem, across the world. And it's very sad to say, but the United States is the number one requester of sex traffickers. It's awful. People think, oh, it's taking place in other countries. It doesn't affect us. Sarasota, Miami, and Tampa are the top 3 cities where human trafficking is the most in the state of Florida.
Wow.
And in the States, you've got California, Texas, and Florida. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in other states, but those 3 are the top 3 for sex trafficking. And I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, those are the borders
because of the border, right?
And the ports and that sort of thing.
Right, exactly.
Do you have any links to statistics, or if someone wanted to look that up and get more information, do you know where they could find that?
They probably could get that on the Damsel website. Okay. I'm not sure if it's on mine, but if they go to damselandefense.net, okay, that is our
your umbrella
headquarters, the headquarters website. Okay. And if they wanted to reach out to me, I could always provide that. But if they also just Googled, right, top 3, if they wanted a lot more information about human trafficking,
it's out there.
It's all out there. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'll include some of those links, like to your website and Damsel's, also in the show notes, so people can check that out quickly.
Right. Yeah. And as I said before, a lot of people join Damsel in Defense as a safety educator because they have their own stories. Right. They either have been sexually assaulted as a child, or have been in a domestic violence situation, or have been assaulted or raped. I mean, it is very therapeutic to find a purpose, to find a calling, and a sisterhood of people who understand. And it's also very helpful and therapeutic for women who have gone through situations to share with other people. For sure. I mean, we talk about some tough stuff, and
I would think, even, you're helping so many people and you're creating awareness and educating on how to empower people and yourself. Right. I imagine for you, even, it's very difficult to hear some of the stories that you hear and to know what's happening. How do you protect yourself? How do you lift yourself up and go on?
Well, the people that I've only met one person. I was doing a vendor event about 6 months ago, and I had my big banner up that says 1 in every 5 women are, victims of rape. And she was going through a very tough situation. I won't go through all the details, but she needed help right then.
Oh, wow.
And I am not, I am a vessel. I can listen. I'm not a professional counselor. I never portray to be, a professional person to give advice, but I have resources. So I always carry this card, which is for SPARC, Safe Place and Rape Crisis Center. I always carry these in my purse.
Okay.
And
I'll
when
include
that
that
woman,
info in the notes too, so people can find
okay,
it. Mhm.
yeah, this was the only time that that someone came up to me and said, I need help.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay. And she just was just pouring stuff out.
Mm.
And so I gave her the number to this Safe Place and Rape Crisis Center right then. And she called. And, I was there, and once I gave her this and she made the connection, I was out of the situation, but I was able to provide the resource for her. A lot of people that I meet, where I hear their stories, they have gone through it.
Mm.
They are survivors.
Okay. So
Not victims.
you get to see the result of being empowered.
Right. So some of them come up to me privately and share the story and say that I was a victim as a child. I was a victim in domestic violence situations, or I was raped, or whatever, in college or whatever. So yes, a lot of them, some share. It's amazing if someone shares within a group, there's always others that say, me too.
It gives them the courage to speak up.
Right. And everybody, I'm sure, goes through their own processes of how they dealt with it, and definitely get help. This is not something that you should be silent about. But from our perspective, from Damsel in Defense, our goal, as I said, we also say protect, prepare, and prevent. Either the P's or the E's. The bottom line is that you've got to be aware, situational awareness, and paying, and not only the situational awareness, but the intuition, believing, listening to yourself. And we
that
all
small
have been
voice.
that small voice. We've been taught to pay attention to our gut. But I also tell people, so yes, your gut, if your gut's telling you something, do it or not do it, whatever the circumstances. But your brain, if you are in tune, if you're situationally aware around you, and this is mindset, this takes practice. You also are in tune, most likely, with your own body and your mind. So if all of a sudden you start sweating, for example, you start physically, I'm not saying your gut, I am saying you start sweating. Your brain is telling you something isn't right. Okay. Or if you start having a panic attack, pay attention, but there's a reason. There is a reason. And if you're in tune to that, you'll be better off for it.
Yeah.
You can't dismiss the signs. You just cannot. Never, never, never. I tell women, because so many women dismiss.
Just brush it off.
They brush it off
those signs.
They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want people to think they're making a mountain out of a molehill, or whatever that expression is. Always, always, always pay attention. You're not being paranoid by just being aware of your surroundings. Anytime. When you come out of that grocery store, the worst thing you could do is be on your phone. Or talking with earbuds in your ear. Because let's face it, a person who's looking to hurt you or to rob you or whatever, they are looking for an easy target, as I said before. They're looking for somebody that looks weak. All right. Or
distracted.
So one of the things that I like to point out to people when they come to my workshops and they touch and they feel, they pick up a stun gun or a pepper spray, it empowers you. Your posture like when I joined the company and I got my kit and I never even knew what a stun gun was. It's not a taser. It doesn't shoot out wires. A lot of people think that a stun gun and a taser are the same. A taser actually looks like a gun, and it shoots wires and it goes
Okay.
to these little dots on a person's back. A stun gun is basically, they have a flashlight and they make a sound. I love the stun because if I am uncomfortable, I can make that sound, and you are sending a message with that sound to deter. Chances are, if you made a sound, all right, if they're scoping at a parking lot and they see or hear that you have a sound, they are not going to come to you. They're going to find someone else, because there's plenty of other people that have their head in their phones, have earbuds, they're carrying conversations, parents that are carrying kids that are overwhelmed. So that stun gun is going to send that message, hey, I have something. And then if they do come up to you, if you have to make contact with them, it does hurt. It's not going to electrocute them. It's not going to put them on the ground. So, the only way that it will put them on the ground is if you hit a large muscle like the back of the leg and it, kind of buckles. But if you hit them on the arm or here, they are going to react in a way like, holy crap, what just happened? You're going to throw them off their focus, their plan A. They don't have a plan B.
Right.
But your job is to get away. We say stun and get away. You want to stun for a few seconds. Anything that you use is intended for just that, for you to use it so that you can get away. All right. Go back to the store, go around the car, get in the car, lock the door. It's giving you the upper hand, having something in your hand. When I got my kit, I never held a stun gun before. Immediately, I held it, I stood up, and I said, I can protect myself with this. And that's the empowerment part that you have to feel. Because if you're not comfortable with whatever your personal protection product is, you're not going to use it.
Right.
You're not going to use it. And I always say to people also, if you want to buy a gift for someone, and we're getting up to the holiday season, and why not give the gift of safety? But I would say, talk to the person that you are intended to get a gift for, okay? And go on the website, or have them go on the website and read about the product. Because if you just buy a pepper spray, if you just say, oh, my daughter's in college and she runs or walking to campus, and she's not comfortable with it, you've wasted your money and she's not going to use it. So the empowerment piece is really, it's a triangle. It's not just only about having the product in your hand. It's not only about being empowered, and it's not only about educating. You have to have the triangle complete. It's really important. It's really important to understand that you have to be empowered to be able to protect yourself and not be paranoid.
Right.
And, I do a presentation and I talk about different levels of awareness. And I'll end with this, that the people that are going to be statistically a victim are those that are either distracted, i.e. texting, walking, earbuds when you're walking and not paying attention, or in denial that nothing's going to happen to me. Nothing's ever going to, I don't care what age you are. If you're 20 years old and you say to your mom, oh, Mom, don't worry, I'm fine. If you're 40 years old and you say, well, I've been pretty lucky. I'm 40 years old and nothing's ever happened to me. Or, and this is a true story, an 85-year-old woman saw my banner, 1 in 5 women are survivors of rape. And she said, well, thank God I don't have to worry about that, because nobody's ever going to want to rape me. And that is a really bad mindset to have, because we don't know what is going on in the mind of that person that wants to hurt you. Okay. And I said to that woman, I said just that. I said, all of us are at risk. You don't know. That person could have had a very abusive grandmother. that you happen to remind him of. You don't know. You just don't know. So you do always have to be prepared. And older people are more vulnerable, just as young kids. And, we have alarms and whistles, which, I always say you need to have at least sound. Can't depend on your voice, because if somebody covered it, or
you're scared and can't make a noise.
That's right. So you need to have a whistle or an alarm, and then you need to have at least 2 layers of protection, something for distance and something for close up.
Okay. Good advice. And wow, what great education you provide.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Sure.
So where, I'll post the links to your website so people can get in touch with you. And would that be the best way for people to learn about your education programs and some of the empowerment tools and products that you have?
So the website's really good for a description of all of our products.
Okay.
If anybody is interested in having me come do a safety workshop or an Empower Hour, either in their home or at a business, let me know. If you host an event, you get some nice little perks. You can get some half price or free products. And if you're interested in that, you can either email me at fogartylr8@gmail.com, or they can certainly call me. And my number is 703-346-6045. Either way, I will, answer or get back with you, and we can set something up that way.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. And I'll include all of that information in our show notes and on my social media, so people can find it really quickly and find you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Laura. This was really informative. And
thank you.
I can see why you're passionate about it.
My husband says that I'm working too much. I thought you're supposed to be retired. But I am very passionate about it. And I really, I love when the light bulb goes off when I'm doing a presentation, and I get the light bulb look or the aha moment, or I get somebody who reaches out to me and says, this is what's happening. I need to, like, I had a friend who walked her dog, and she had a neighbor, a dog in her neighborhood that was often unleashed. And she called me up and said, I need a stun gun. And I was like, okay. And I got her one right away. She was 10 minutes away. She's totally at ease, because she's protected. She's comfortable. She was very scared. Like, when she called me, she was panic stricken because that dog almost not only bit her, but also her dog.
Oh gosh.
So I love when I can get people protected. That's really, great. Really important. Yep. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
One person at a time. I want to, if I have time, to read you a little story.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard of the starfish story, but Damsel in Defense basically uses this mantra, if you will. The starfish is very important because of this story. So an old man was walking on the beach one morning after a storm. In the distance, he could see someone moving like a dancer. As he came closer, he saw that it was a young woman picking up the starfish and gently throwing them into the ocean. Young lady, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean? The sun is up and the tide is going out. And if I do not throw them all in, they will die, she said. But young lady, do you not realize there are many miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You cannot possibly make a difference. The young woman listened politely, then bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the sea. It made a difference for that one, she said. So
that's a good story.
The moral of the story is that if we make a difference for one person, and that person was personally protected, that's our purpose.
This episode is going to help someone.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it gives me
Thank
goosebumps
you.
thinking about it. I hope nobody has to
Right.
learn that lesson, but it's going to help
Right.
someone.
Well, last week I spoke down in Port Charlotte at the Harley Davidson store. Set up a wonderful program for me with lunch and everything, and I had 33 women.
Wow.
And today I went down to drop something off that somebody purchased, and the lady that worked there said, "You really made a difference for those ladies last week. You impacted those ladies."
Wow.
And again, that's
why you do it.
What I do. That's why I do it.
I see why. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for changing lives and empowering us and giving us all that
welcome.
information and education.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. All
right.
right.
Thank you. This is really going to help someone. I feel it. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Penny.
That's a wrap on another spirited episode of Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I hope you've enjoyed the intoxicating blend of wisdom, wit, and wonder that these incredible women bring to the table. Check out the show notes for links to resources referenced in today's episode. And remember to subscribe and raise a glass with me every Thirsty Thursday as we continue to serve up inspiration, celebrate resilience, and reignite the passions that set our souls on fire. If you've loved what you've heard, please share the podcast far and wide and leave a sparkling 5-star review to let me know your thoughts. It would also help tremendously if you would visit pennyforyourshots.com and subscribe to learn when new episodes are available and pick up my free recipe. In the meantime, remember that your story deserves to be served and savored. Cheers to your brilliance and of women everywhere. Until next time, keep sipping and experiencing life's extraordinary moments. This is Penny for Your Shots, signing off with a clink and a toast to us. Cheers.